All right, today on the Eclectic Handyman, I got the mega load here. We have the 79 piece, brand new older stock Craftsman half-inch large tool set. We're going to get into this big old box and check it out, and all brand new Craftsman made in the USA tools. Let's get into it. All right, so of course I have to use my Craftsman knife to get into this Craftsman box. And by the way, this box weighs at least 50 pounds. This thing is super heavy, and what it comprises of, and I'll show you the breakdown here in just a couple minutes, it's half-inch 12-point sockets, both metric and standard. We've got the half-inch wrench set. We're both in metric and standard. Now these are all the larger sizes, so we're going to see as I begin to get into it that these are on the larger end size of the spectrum for the tool set that you have. In fact, I think the wrenches go up to I believe it's 30 millimeters. We're gonna take a look here in a second. Oh yeah, look at this. This is like Christmas has come early. This is really, really awesome. Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm just going to start taking all of this out of here and lay it out on the workbench. Whoa, those are some big old wrenches. Look at that. Whoa, that's awesome. We're going to get it all organized here. Here's the deal. I'll talk while I'm kind of getting stuff out. You know, when you start pricing these things on the aftermarket, and of course they're aftermarket meaning aftermarket, you're not buying them at Sears anymore. And the reason they're not being bought at Sears is because Sears, well, first of all, it's hard to find a Sears. And secondly, they're not made in the USA anymore. And so when you start breaking down the price of all of these individual tools, like on eBay or on the Facebook Marketplace or wherever you can find them, you're paying on average, like look at this right here. We'll get into all this. You might pay $30 a wrench. And so I paid about, here we go, we got more brand new. I mean, this is a real treat here. I mean, look at all these brand new Craftsman, made in the USA tools. Wow, this is, as you can tell, I'm excited. But anyway, you price out these individual wrenches here. You might pay $30 a piece. I paid about $315 for this whole thing. And so when you do the math, 9-10 wrenches in, maybe 9 wrenches, you're already at that $300 price mark for made in the USA. Let me just take any one of these out right here and show you. There we go. Forged in the USA. This is the 28 millimeter. I mean, this thing is brand spanking new. This 28 millimeter wrench, huge, might go for $30, $35. So you get to about 9 of them, you're at the $300 mark. This is 79 pieces for that same price. So buying in bulk is the way to go. And what I've found when it comes to eBay is like there's a huge audience and market for new older stock tools between $1 and $100. But once you pass that $100 price point, it gets a little more scarce because it just depends on how much people want to spend. Because the reality is, and I'm a realist, the reality is you can go to Harbor Freight. If you're just the home mechanic, you can get a lot of this type of tool set for a fraction of the cost. But the thing about all these tools are, because I'm not, this is not my trade being a mechanic. I'm a weekend warrior or Sunday mechanic, as they would call the Eclectic Handyman. This stuff truly is going to last a lifetime. So I don't mind spending a few dollars, especially in this manner, in which it's really economically sound, at $300 to get all of these made in the USA tools. I mean, here's a brand new half-inch, made in the USA, half-inch ratchet. And again, we'll go through all of it. But this is really, not a big deal to spend a little bit more on this because I will have these forever. So let's go ahead and get it organized and look at all the packages and everything that we got. All right, before getting into all this, let's take a look at the parts list from Craftsman for this whole set, which was part number 33285. And it has a whole assortment of metric wrenches. We've got the standard wrenches. We've got metric sockets. We've got standard sockets in both deep and shallow. And we also have an assortment of hand tools. What a fantastic deal to get all of these tools in one shipment. Very exciting. All right, let's start with the hand tools that came in this set. First off, and I do not have any of these. This is called, and you're probably familiar with this is a speeder wrench. So you're able to turn very quickly when you're doing, some bolts. As you can see, I'm turning it right here. It's pretty cool. I've never had one of these. Right here on the markings, we've got the 1/2-inch Craftsman K series right there. And this is definitely something I've wanted for a while and had not gotten ever. We also have a pair of pliers. This is Craftsman Made in the USA, part number 45379. Great everyday pliers, not the professional series or anything. And all of these are in pretty great condition. Things did get kind of jumbled around in that shipment, and I'm sure over the years. So, there are a couple of blemishes and scratches. But as I always say here on the Eclectic Handyman, these tools are for use. So if I come across a bolt or whatever, these sockets, everything's going to be used. Next up, we got adjustable wrench here. I believe these are the, what was that, about 10 inches, 45381. And then we also have the 1/2-inch that I briefly showed earlier. This is USA, part number 44809. Excellent. I mean, never used. Still got the grease on it. Everything is in great shape. So there's the hand tools that came with this. Next, we'll get into the sockets back there. Got a whole bunch of sockets and also the wrenches. All right, so here are the sockets that came in this large Craftsman Made in the USA set. These are a combination of deep sockets, shallow sockets, all 12-point, all 1/2-inch drive. We got the 3, the 6, and the 10-inch extension. We got a universal joint. So let's get these packages opened up, lay them out, and see what we've got. All right, time to open these packages. My guess, I have to double check the series, but these are probably circa 10 years ago at least, since the last time the Craftsman hand tools were made in the USA. So yeah. Big sockets. This again is just incredible to me because the price of each one of these, and I know I'm repeating myself, but the price of each one of these, literally, you're looking at $10 a socket easily, especially in this condition. And so this is quite the setup that we've got here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the wrenches, all the pieces, it's just, it's something else. So let's go ahead and set them up. Got one of the rare sizes here. All right, so we've got them all lined up now, both the deep sockets and the shallow sockets. And as you can see from above, they are in tip-top, brand new, excellent shape. No rust, very little blemishes, just like they were forged and created in the factory from which they came. They look fantastic. So let's break down what we actually have in the socket set. All right, so with the shallow, and looking at all these again, here we go. It starts with the 17 millimeter Craftsman Made in the USA. Again, now we had seen a K2 series, but on this particular one, let me spin that back again. This is a G2 series. This one, part number 44237. And just in excellent shape. 17 millimeter. All right, then it heads up to 18, 19, 20. There are some skips. There will be some skips. We got 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 28, 26, 27, 28, 30, and 32. So one of the ones that I actually would have loved to have got was the 29. It's kind of a rare size. I do have a 29 millimeter made in the USA, but it's one of the etched sockets, not the non-etched version. I really would like to still get the non-etched one. But anyway, all of those, and just the fantastic in the metric sizes. Now, on the standard sizes, we go from 5/8, all right? So again, we went from, this is a large socket set. So just to recall, we went to 17 millimeter all the way up to the 32 millimeter. But for the standard sockets, we are going from 5/8 made in the USA. Let's get that in focus there. Another G2 series, starting out with part number 47505, and going all the way up to the larger 1 1/4 size here. Craftsman Made in the USA. Look at that. Just looks awesome. And this is a G2 series, part number 47517. Beautiful. So stepping through some of these, and what I like on the standard sizes is that some of the rare sizes are in there too. When I say rare, I'll mention when I get to it, but for example, the 32nd size ones. So this one here is the 21 32nd size. And so this one, and then there is another one up here, the 25 32nds. Now, from what I understand and what I've done research, again, these are not for collector. They'll get used if I ever come across a bolt that size. But from what I've looked online, the only time those are used are, some people say, like farming equipment and such, which I don't work on. So, but at least I have them. So then going in through, we had the 21 32nds, started out with the 5/8. Then we had the 11/16, 3/4, 13/16, the 25 32nds, which I had showed previously, 7/8, the 15/16, the 1 inch Craftsman socket, excellent. Getting into the larger sizes here, the 1 1/16, the 1 K2 series. This is a 1 1/8. The 1 3/16, and then ending up with the 1 1/4. All of these, again, just to repeat, are 12-point sockets. Also, you notice here we had the kind of, I don't want to say bonus, but it's kind of the extras. We got the 3 inch, the 6 inch, and the 10 inch extensions, all made in the USA. And this one is an H series and a 1/2 inch extension, really heavy duty. I did not have the larger one. I have the smaller one, but I didn't have the larger one. A swivel joint, super handy. You have to have one of these in all the sizes. GK series, part number 4425. Hard to get in focus there, but it's got a little bit of a smudge. But anyway, that's the swivel. We got 2 spark plug sockets, both 1/2 inch. We got the 5/8 inch socket, and then we also have the 13/16, and you can always tell the spark plug sockets because they have that rubber insulator to grab the plug on the inside. Both, again, as with all of them, made in the USA. So nice to have those. I've really been wanting to get into the deep socket setup in my tools. I do have 3/8. I didn't have any 1/2 inch. So I'm really excited to get into this set here. I think they'll come in really handy. So for the standard set, we've got 5/8 inch starting off, kind of like the shallow. This is a G2 series, and the part number here is, oh, it's really hard to get in focus sometimes. There you go, you can see that. And this is part number 47523. Let's see if we can get that. Oh, well, anyway. 12 point, all these 12 point. And then we've got the 11/16 here. 3/4. The 13/16. 7/8. The 15/16. 1 inch deep socket. And showing you that, again, as always, all made in the USA. Another GK series on this one. I'm trying to see it. Oh, there we go. GK. And part number 47531. And we've got the 1 1/16 deep socket. And finally, in the standard, we got the 1 1/8. Now, one of the things about a deep socket set, if you're trying to be efficient, you really can go with an impact socket set that'll double for both, whatever needs you can use. I mean, there's no reason you can't use an impact socket. You can use an impact socket on whatever you want for the other bolts, but I typically don't recommend using a chrome socket on an impact wrench, although you can, but I would not plan on it. And last up in the sockets, we've got the deep metric set, which I will plan on going all the way back down to 7 to 10 millimeter on these, just to be useful. But in this large set, we start off with a 17 millimeter. Excellent looking here, Craftsman Made in the USA. And G2 series, actually 44445 is the part number on that one. So pretty cool. And just looking at that socket, it's looking in great shape. All right, next up, we've got the 18 millimeter. Then we've got the 19 millimeter, 20 millimeter deep socket. You're going to get a lot of use out of this part right here when you're working on automobiles. 21 millimeter. 22 millimeter, 24 millimeter. This is heavy, definitely high quality there. Craftsman Made in the USA. Let's just cherry pick this one and see what we got. We got a GK series, part number 44463. So deep socket, 24 millimeter. Look at that, just perfect. Oh, actually, no. Look at that. Little bit of rust. Okay, the first one I found a little bit of rust. That's no big deal. That's just cosmetic. I get to get that out. That's the first one I've seen with any like that. No big deal though. I mean, these are old. They've been around for a while, so some of that to be expected, and probably more than I've seen. And lastly, 27 millimeter. This is a K2 series right here, part number 44449. And this one's in terrific, excellent, brand new shape. In fact, with the camera, what you're seeing these are smudges from my hands and such. I could certainly clean these up and they would just, again, they get used, but I could polish them up. So the back set, we go from 17 millimeter all the way up to 27 millimeter. We go from 5/8 all the way up to 1 inch and 1/8 for the standard deep socket. Then the standard shallow set, we went from 5/8 all the way up to 1 1/4. And then with my metric set, we went from 17 millimeter with a couple of skips toward the end up to 32 millimeter, the 3, the 6, the 10-inch extension, the swivel, and the 2 sockets. What a deal. I mean, considering what you're looking at here for the price, if this is pieced individually, you're talking hundreds of dollars to try to collect these non-existent items. They don't made anymore. So buying in bulk, this was definitely the way to go. So next up, we got the wrenches over there. We're going to get into the wrench set and see what we got inside of that. All right, time to get to the wrenches. Let's check them out. All right, these are some massive wrenches that we have here in these bags. Let's go ahead, take them out and set them up. All right, we have quite a few of these large wrenches, starting with the metric. Let's go ahead and get these guys in order, going all the way up to 32 millimeters. So we've got quite the set here for working on large applications. Get those. And also have, let's see, popping down from 23, 22, some of maybe the more practical sizes that were used a little more often. 21, 19, 18, 17. These are great. Okay. Let's get all these in view and see exactly what we have here. All right. Let's make sure we can see every single one. Here we go. So we have the large metric box end wrench set here, going from 17 millimeter. We've got the 17 millimeter, and this is, let's see if we can get that absolutely in focus there. Forged in the USA. V, what do they call that? The flying A, V, or inverted V series. I usually just say VA, but I know it's the flying V series there. And this is part number 42929. So again, starting with the 17 millimeter here. And then it steps on through. We've got an 18 millimeter. We got the 19 millimeter. This one is used quite often. Once again, these are all coming from the same series here, and you can see the part number. Forged in the USA. 20 millimeter, so no skips yet. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Just taking a look again. Craftsman, forged in the USA. This one is part number 42923. And we're getting pretty big here as far as which wrenches. And then you get into the really big ones. So we've got 25, 26, 27, 28. Again, the skip on 29. Similar to the socket, the shallow socket set, we have a 30 and a 32. And I'll tell you, there are some practical applications even that I've used recently. The 27 millimeter, the EGR valve on my Mustang Cobra, I needed this end in order to remove it when I was doing some work on the manifold and doing some improvements on it. So this is one, here we go, forged in the USA, 42933. And then we got the really, really big one. This thing is huge, 32 millimeter. We've got same forged in the USA, V inverted VVA 42936. What do they, again, they call that maybe the flying V, I believe is what they call it. So yeah, this is a comprehensive set. And then, of course, going below the 17 millimeter all the way over here on the right, you're going to go down all the way to, 8 or even 6 millimeter, I believe. I have all those wrenches. In fact, I'm going to have a few duplicates, I think, now. But this is good because now I'm sure that I have the entire set. So that's the metric set here for as a part of this 79-piece large Craftsman Made in the USA set. So let's go ahead and get these out of the way and look at the standard set to finish up. All right, last but certainly not least, we have the standard box end wrench set here. Look, I'm still excited. I mean, when you're a Craftsman tool enthusiast, being open to open, 10, 12-year-old, 15-year-old packages, new since they were forged and out of the factory, this is really awesome. Look at this. Here we go. Okay, so now I think I can make that out. I didn't even see this before. First piece inspection. This is pretty cool. And it's got a date there that looks like maybe July 12th, 2013. Okay, so a correction and the tail end. And one of the reasons I wondered about how many years old it was, that's definitely the tail end of these being manufactured, were the sockets that came from the K2 series. And if I recall correctly, let's see if I can even get that. There we go, K2 series. If I recall correctly, this was a later series. It wasn't like the G or G2. So that was a little bit of an indication early on that this was at the tail end of the domestic production for the Craftsman set. But nonetheless, pretty cool that we got that there. So put that off to the side. And let's go ahead and get this wrench set up here. Once again, a very, very large end of the spectrum. I'll make sure I don't drop any of these. All right, so let's get these set up. Let's see if we got enough real estate. No complaints here. No complaints. All right, now we've got our standard set, combination wrench set here all set up. And it starts out with on the smaller end, with the 5/8 inch Craftsman wrench forged in the USA, Flying V series, again, 444697 on this. And as all the combination wrenches do, they have the size here. And then that proceeds on to the 11/16, as well as the 3/4 inch ratchets here. Now, one of the things to mention about this set is if you had gone to Sears or Craftsman and bought, like an 8 or a 10-piece set of wrenches, they were probably going to include in the standard set up to 3/4. And as far as the metric, they would have included probably up to the 17 or 18. I think the 19 was also something that had to be, purchased separately. So when you're looking at this set here that we're reviewing, a lot of these would have been either special order, individually had to be purchased, or purchased as a part of a large set, much like this one. So on the smaller end, a lot of times you would have already had these, but not with these larger ones. So to continue on with that set, we have now the 13/16 inch wrench, the 7/8 inch, the 15/16, and then the 1 inch. And then I kind of paused there for a second because that was also another common set that people would do up to 1 inch, because it got pretty, you had to have some kind of edge cases or larger work that you were going to need these larger ones, which continue on with the 1 1/16 inch. We're getting really heavy duty. You can see by the size of my hand and the length of this. The 1 1/8 here. Again, same thing, that Flying V series, 44707, 1 1/8. And then lastly, pull over here the big one, the 1 1/4, part number 44708, forged in the USA. And let's actually take a look here. If I pull out the measuring tape and see, this one is going to be, how long is this wrench? This is roughly, it's 16.5 inches right there. So this, this is a very large wrench there. So in the toolbox, you need to have one of the larger drawers to organize those. And so there's the standard set, again, going from 5/8 all the way up to 1 1/4. And then for the other combination wrenches that we had for the metric, again, we had 17 millimeter all the way up to 32 millimeter. For those of you that might have been following along and maybe paused the video to count to see if it was really 79 pieces, if you could see them all or gone through them, you'd have been right if you'd have said one piece was missing. Here it is. It is the 1/2 inch flex head breaker bar. So here we go. We've got this. This is VVAD part number 44201. And sure enough, it did not come in the kit. I actually had to send a message to the person who put this auction together and tell them it was missing. They sent it to me later. And there you go, the 79th piece. As always, sure does feel good filling in those empty spaces in the toolbox. All right, so there you have it in one wide shot, this entire tool set. And I can tell you, I did go back and look in the Craftsman catalog. Some of these deep socket sets alone were $60 or $70. So when you start adding up the price and even original costs, not eBay costs now, you know, these 1.25 inch, these larger wrenches, you're, as I mentioned early on, you're talking $30, $40 a wrench, you know, probably in the $20, $25, and then maybe the $10 or $15 wrench. So you start adding up all this, in addition to everything else we got, even original price would have been to piece this out individually, probably on the upside of maybe even $400 or $500. And I got it all for about $315, $325, maybe, you know, I can't remember after tax. Incredible deal, all brand new. Very fortunate to get this. These tools will last for forever. So let's do one last review of everything that came here again today. So we started off, we had the quick release ratchet. This was all the 1/2 inch. We got the pliers. We got the 9.5 inch arc adjustable pliers. We got the 3, 6, and 10 1/2 inch extensions, the 1/2 inch speeder bar. Very cool. We got the metric and standard deep sockets. We got the shallow metric and standard 1/2 inch, all 1/2 inch sockets. We got the spark plug sockets, the swivel socket, and then with the combination wrench set, we got both metric and standard for a total of 79 made in the USA. Craftsman forged hand tools. What else is there to say? This is super cool. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the Eclectic Handyman, probably the best ever, maybe Craftsman New Older Stock USA tool review I'll ever be able to do, just because of the amount of tools here. I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, this is the Eclectic Handyman. We'll see you later.